So now guys, I'm going to solder the connection here. You can see I have the copper connection exposed. I'm using a soldering gun. It's pretty hot right now. Okay. So I'm going to take a piece of soldering metal and going to apply a little bit of heat right here on the connector, and after that I'm putting some metal here. Like so, and I'm going to do this on the other side. And now this is prepared to accept another lead strip, but I have to do the same on the other lead strip. This is basically what I need to do, bring them together, and with the soldering gun I'm going to melt the connection and fuse it together. And for water protection I'm going to use a piece of shrink tube, which I'm going to apply over like so, and when I'm going to heat it with the hot air gun, this will shrink and protect the connection. Let me move it out of the way. So again, you have to check polarity. 12 volts here and 12 volts here. So this is the positive side, is going to the positive side, and the negative side is going to the negative side. So this is the right way to do it. So I'm going to keep this with my finger and apply a little bit of heat with the gun, but maybe I will not burn my finger. Okay. It seems that it has a connection right there, so it's solid. I'm going to try it to see if it works. So it is working, so I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to hold this on the soldering job here, going to apply a little bit of heat, and this tube will shrink. So one connection is done. Moving on to the other ones, I have to cut this and add some more lead strips like so. I'm going to test it again. It should work now. And it does, except for some few leads here. Anyway, this maybe it got damage from the heat. Anyway, it's not a problem. When you buy a brand new lead strip, you do not have to make so much soldering connections. I already used this band, this lead strip on my tank, so it's not brand new. It's okay, pretty happy with this. I do have some smaller pieces to add. I'm going to add them all. If you do not have a clip-on connector to attach the wires to the lead strip, you guess it, you're gonna have to solder the wires directly on the copper contacts on the lead strip. You're going to have to keep in mind that on DC current it's negative and positive, and for the negative side we use a black wire, and for the positive side we use the red wire. So first you're gonna have to cut this down a little bit, like so. And we're going to cover them with flux. This is not the greatest soldering iron. This is just a hobby for me. And now let's put some soldering metal. I don't know what is the name of this in English. I think it's tin. I think I'm going to change this. It's something better. So this is a soldering gun. It's from my father. It's like 30 years old now. This gun right here. It works better than the Chinese stuff. So let's get cooking. Maybe I should use this from the beginning. Look at this. It's working much better. Okay, so let me try this on the lead strip. I'm going to have to cover this up with soldering metal. Let me put some flux in here. And look at this. It's ready now. And negative goes to the black color and positive goes to the red. So let me see how can I do this so you guys can see this. It's going to heat up this connection until the metal will solder here. Okay, and now Let's do this. That's it. We have now made a good connection. Remember, positive is the red wire, negative is the black one. Of course, you can add a little bit of shrink tube here and connect your driver, positive and negative, to the other end. So this is how you do a lead strip soldering. It's not that difficult if you have the right tools. So I hope this is useful for you guys. Almost 2 meters of strip here. I applied some heat to the shrink tube, which shrinked onto my connections. It's pretty good. So I managed to get away with only 2 connections. And let me just test this again. So it is working all the way to the end. So I'm going to glue it with super glue in the lid of my tank. And now I basically going to have like almost 12 meters of lead strips in my tank. It's not that difficult, but you do have to own the proper tools to do it. So this is it, fish keepers. My tutorial about using, connecting, cutting, and tips about lead strips.